Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to shoot a video on business studies for second chapter, that is principles of management. Okay, one video already we have shoot and sent to you, and that is our second video. And today's topic is fuels principles of management. Okay, so first of all we should talk about fuel. Fuel is uh, remembered as a father of journal management. Please remember as father of journal management. Okay, father of journal management. Okay, so why we call them father as a journal management? Because Fayol is the first person who identify the different functions of management, like planning, organizing, directing and controlling. Basically he recommended that four functions of management. Okay, and he not only, he also presented management as a separate field of endeavor. Okay, and but also he has given 14 principles of management. Okay, so that's why these principles are very important for the smooth functioning of business. So today we are we have discussed about few principles of management. Okay, first principle of management is division of work. What is the meaning of division of work? As by these words we can understand the total work. The total work is divided into small segments, and that segments of work is assigned to different people in the organization according to their capability, according to their qualities, according to their efficiencies, so that every people is doing same work regularly, and by doing the same work regularly and repeatedly the person becomes specialized, for the person becomes efficient in that particular work. So that is the benefits of division of work. Means if we follow the principle of division of work, if we divide our work into small segments and we assign that work according to the qualities, capabilities of the people, then we can enjoy some benefits. That benefits are specialization of work, increase in efficiency, smooth functioning. Okay, less wastage, because that person is efficient, so wastage is very less. So that's why that principle of management is very important, and the positive effect of this principle is specialization and increase in efficiency. Increase in efficiency. ENC. Okay, so I think you understand what is division of work. Now come to the second point, that is authority and responsibility. So according to this principle, there should be a balance between authority and responsibility. Before discussing this principle, you should understand what is authority. Okay, what is authority? Authority means power to take decisions. Okay, and responsibility means obligation to complete the task. Okay, so what is authority? Authority means power to take decisions. Okay, and responsibility means obligation to complete the task. So there should be a proper balance between authority and responsibility. For example, if there is no balance between, if authority is made more than responsibility, then what will happen? What is the side effect? The people who is having more power, the powerful person, can misuse their powers. Okay, they exploit the people, they exploit their subordinates, the people who are working under him. Okay, and its opposite is there. If responsibility is more than the authority, in that case what will happen? In that case the people are not able to complete their task. Okay, for example, if if my boss has given me a responsibility to complete the task, for example, they have given me responsibility to check all the machines and repair them. Okay, but he did not give me the power to go to the that special tool room and take out the toolbox from there. For that I have to take permission, and that person is absent today. Then what will happen? Then I am not able to complete that task. Okay, in that case I am not able to complete the task which is given to me, because I don't have a proper uh, authority to take out something or whatever I want, that I don't have a power to take it from the that particular place. That's why it is very important that authority and responsibility should be in balance, should be always equal. Okay, not the authority will be greater than responsibility, and not the responsibility will be greater than authority. Okay, for example, if responsibility is more than the authority, then person is not able to complete the task because he is not having a authority accordingly. Okay, and the person becomes overburdened, and that the result of it, that is incompletion of task. Okay, so come to the third point, that is discipline. So what is the meaning of discipline, this principle in that management principles? Okay, in case of discipline means all the rules, according to this principle, all the rules and regulations should be followed by the people who is working in the organization. Okay, whatever the types of rules and regulation, it is not like that only employees, only subordinates follow the rules. All the administration as well as subordinates all have to complete, or all have to follow the rules and regulations which code of conduct is given by the organization to their peoples or to their employees. Okay, for example, if there is no discipline, people are not coming on time in the organization, they are not working properly, they are wasting their time, then what is the side effect of it? That our we will not able to achieve their target, we will not able to achieve their goals. Okay, and the chaos is there, and fight is there between the peoples and all that, because they are not follow the rules and regulation. For example, if one person is following, another person is not following, and nobody given them punishment, so there is a chaos, there is a quarrel between that people, those who are following the principle and those who are not following the principle. Okay, so there should be a discipline, and everybody have to follow all the rules and regulations. Then come to the fourth point, that is unity of command. Unity of command means, according to this principle, that all the subordinates, every subordinate get the command from only single person. Okay, means every worker, every subordinates have a single boss, all the instruction coming from a single people. For example, if people are not giving means the worker are not getting instruction from a one boss, they are getting instruction from two or three bosses, then what will happen? Everybody come to that person and ask their question, you have complete my task, you have complete my task. Then worker not able to complete all the tasks in a single time, and even worker is having an excuse, because that person is giving that boss is giving me that work, that's why I am not able to complete the task, and he is giving all the time excuses, because I am overburdened, that's why I am not able to complete that task. So it is very compulsory in the organization that every people or every worker, every subordinate got the instruction from only one boss. Okay, come to the fifth principle of management, that is unity of direction. Unity of direction means, according to this principle, there should be only one boss and one plan. Okay, one plan for the whole organization, means there should be a unity of action in the organization. Every people, every person, whether he is boss, whether he is subordinates, all are working in a same direction, and that direction should be to achieve the organizational goals. Okay, in that case, because we know every people comes from different types of environment, different type or to fulfill their different types of need, but in a group there should be a one goal, that is to achieve the organizational goal. Okay, if for example, taking the example of hockey match and cricket match, if all the 11 players have the same goal to achieve the to win the match, okay, and they are following a same strategy which is made by the captain of the team. If all are following properly, then the probability of winning the match is more than in vice versa condition. Okay, so we can say, if all players are doing in a same way to win the match, in the same way in the organization also, every person who is working in the organization, they should work in the same direction. Unity of action should be there, that is to achieve the organizational goals. Okay, if the positive effect is this, if there is no confusion, no duplication of work, every people know their work properly, and there is complete trustworthy and good environment, good relation between the management and the subordinates. Okay, come to the next one, that is very important, that is subordination of individual interest to journal interest. Okay, individual interest means personal, individual interest means personal interest of employees. Okay, and general interest means organizational interest. Okay, so according to this principle, if means personal interest in a condition, if condition is happened in that two interests are there, that personal interest and organizational interest, always personal interest is sacrificed for the organizational interest. Okay, if some people getting hurt but our organizational goals are achieved, then they have to sacrifice their personal interest. For example, the best example I am taking here, that you are the employee, you are the manager in a particular firm, and you have a marriage function in your at your home, and you have a annual general meeting in your office. So what is the important for you here? If you are uh, going to attend their annual general meeting, then you are following that principle, means you sacrifice your personal individual interest for the general interest, that is the work for the organization, that you have attended the journal meeting. Okay, I think you understand this principle by this example, I think. Okay, whenever it is important, if your personal interests are the hurdle between the organizational goal, to achieve the organizational goal or organizational interest, then you have to sacrifice your personal interest. Okay, come to the last one, that is remuneration of employees. Remuneration of employees means fair payment or fair compensation to their employees as well as organization also. Now, what is the meaning of to their employees as well as organization? What I have said, that is a fair payment, fair compensation to your employees as well as your organization. For example, employees are getting their salary. Salary should be competent and fair according to their work. That should be fair amount of, given to the employees, so that they can able to manage their standard of living. Okay, and it is also in the capacity of organization, means it is not like that we are not having a sufficient profit, still we are giving very high salaries to their employees. So it is not in the capacity of organization. So what does it mean? It should be both. It should be fair salary to their employees as well as it should be fair remuneration to their organization also. They should pay in their paying capacity only, not beyond the limit of that. I think you understand here that fair remuneration of employees means not only employees as well as organization also having that capacity to pay that fair amount to their employees. So that's all for all these principles in this video, and other 7 principles we will take in next video. So goodbye, stay safe, stay healthy, stay at home and keep learning.